Good morning, NuSpecians. Welcome to the NuSpecian Live Q&A. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Aston. Thank you all for joining.
Yeah, so while we get folks joining, I'm going to say good morning to Carol. Hi, Diana. Good morning, Pauline. Good morning, Maxine. Thank you for being here. Please continue to say good morning to us. Hi, Trevor. We are excited about talking to you today. I have noticed now a trend over the months that we tend to get questions more toward like after 40 minutes have passed, and then we can't get to
Mhm.
them all because we have to cut off by 11 the latest. And next week we're gonna have to cut off like a little bit earlier than that, just because I have a dentist appointment. But so if you have any questions or comments, even if Aston and I are talking and we seem to be very into our topic, don't hesitate to just pop it in there. We're tracking your questions along the way, and I will scroll back and get to them. Aston, I see a name in the chat that I can't believe I'm seeing. Maybe you've seen her recently, but I have not. Good morning, Stephanie Legister. Have you talked to her recently?
Yeah, maybe some months ago. Hi, Stephanie.
Wow. Hi, Stephanie. Wow, so glad you're here. Hi, Fitzgerald. Hi, Annette. Hi, Whistler. Good morning. All right, everybody. Welcome to the New Specian Live Q&A. For those of you who don't know, NuSpecies is a natural health company. We invent and manufacture our own line of raw, organic, liquid, herbal medicine, and plant-based supplements. All of these formulas were designed by Aston over 20 years or more to help your body be resilient against the toughest of health challenges. And with that being said, our mission is to help our
Mhm.
clients live better and longer. And we do that through education. It's always been through education. Our formulas are not very easy to market. We don't sell remedies. We don't chase down symptoms. We try to help your body from the root cause of the problem, which means we have to do a lot of education about what the problems are. And so that is why we host this Q&A every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. because your questions have unique answers. There is no one right way for us to do anything. And we want to make sure we continue to provide that guidance so that you can continue on your own unique health journey to achieve your own unique health goals. So thank you
Mhm.
so much for being with us here today. I'm tracking those over on Instagram. Good morning. I do want to say if you're on Instagram, you're not seeing the chats from Facebook. And the same if you're on Facebook, you're not seeing the chats on YouTube. So if you hear me talking about things that you're not seeing, it's only because everybody is in different chat rooms. So
Mhm.
feel free to still engage and post, please. Hi, Headley. Good morning, Buttons. Hi, Norwich Munn. Hello, Headley Margarita. Thank you all for being here. This is so exciting. We've got people on at 10 a.m. This is great.
So I'd like you all to ask your questions, as long as they relate to health, to new species products, to health issues you might have. Ask your questions, even if they relate to history of health, anything at all that affects health, spiritual health, mental health, emotional health, psychological health, physical health. Ask your questions. If we don't have the answers, we promise that we will find the answers. The answers do exist. So if we don't have the answers for you on this segment, we'll find them for the next time we're on. So ask your questions. You have friends and family anywhere in the world. A lot of you have family members all over the Caribbean, Canada, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, Asia. You have family members everywhere, and I talk with those family members for you every day, almost every day, probably every day. So if you have family members you've been buying new species for, sending back home, ask them to join so they can see who we are, they can hear who we are, and if they have questions, they can ask us directly or through you. So we're supporting your family members and friends all over the globe, literally all over the globe. So if you have them out there and they can join us in YouTube, if they have access, get them to join so they can at least listen in.
You can also just go to the top of your your phone or your browser URL bar and just tap on the link and then tap again, and it should allow you to copy the link, and then you can just paste it into your family WhatsApp group or your family group text and let everyone know, hey, these are the products I've been talking about. Just come on and ask your questions, and we'll take care of the hard stuff for you.
Right. And
If you keep
along that, note, you all have family members as well. Well, some of you over in different parts of the world who were not able to consult with for whatever reasons. So they're taking new species, or they're curious about new species. It's just a great opportunity for you to ask them to join. You still have at least 50 minutes, 52 minutes probably, for them to do what Jillian just said. Join in, listen in, and so they can learn about the products you're taking. All right.
All right. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm taking notes. I like to track everything happening in the chat, and that's why I'm looking down, just keeping track of everything. All right. So we've got questions. First question comes from Norwich Munn. What formula will help with building iron?
So I am assuming that there's a iron deficiency. So if someone has low iron, I'm assuming that it's probably low iron, or the person is anemic. Nor you can just let us know if that's the case. So if someone, and this goes for everyone, as I always say, if someone is anemic, 98% of the time is because their hemoglobin is low. The hemoglobin is a red blood cell marker that is in the CBCs in your lab report. You all can pull it out so you can follow along and understand for now or for the future if any of you have these sort of issues. So 98% of the time, if someone is anemic, it's because their hemoglobin is low. And it means that if the hemoglobin is low, it means that the bone marrow is not making enough red blood cells or hemoglobin, or it could mean the person is losing a lot of blood, too much blood, too quickly, and the bone marrow just can't keep up in making, the red blood cells, in this case, hemoglobin. So when the hemoglobin is low, the iron level is low because the hemoglobin is what carries the iron, and the iron carries oxygen. So oxygen molecules bond with iron molecules, and that's how our bodies get oxygenated. So if you're anemic or if you have low iron, those are two of the major causes of having low iron. So you're not really rebuilding iron, you are rebuilding your bone marrow to produce the hemoglobin so that your body can store more iron. So they just think of it this way. If the hemoglobin is low, you don't have enough of those red blood cells to carry the iron. So the iron could still be in your body. It could be in your liver. It could be stuck somewhere, or you just don't have enough because you don't have enough of those hemoglobin red blood cells to store the iron. So you could, if you have any follow-up question, let us know. But we do have a formula to support iron. It's called the Yellow Doc, but we typically don't go in that direction because of the explanation I just gave. So if your hemoglobin is low, we can help you to rebuild your bone marrow. We can help you to rebuild your body. So your CBCs will improve. Your hemoglobin will go up to the 13 or 15, some labs say 16, where it needs to be for your body to have the right amount of hemoglobin to carry the right amount of iron. If you have any questions about that, you can do any follow-up questions. So what you would need to rebuild your bone marrow, you would need our LNU formula, and you can get any of the LNU formula. They will have the LNU1, which is our basic rebuilder. You can get the LNU 9, which is more potent, or LNU 25, which is the most potent rebuilder we have. And then you would take those along with our vitamins formulas, our B vitamins with vitamin C, our mineral complex, our calcium, and our vitamin D. You would take them all together. Those will assist you to rebuild the body, rebuild the bone marrow, so that your body can start making adequate amounts of just red blood cells. So you take that package, it's not just going to rebuild your hemoglobin, it's going to rebuild your CBC, it's going to rebuild your bone marrow so that your CBCs can balance out. So you have the red blood cells, the hematocrit, and all the other critically important red blood cells, including the hemoglobin that is probably low. So you can just ask away if you have any follow-up questions along my explanation.
I always forget whether or not our mineral complex just also is a good source of iron. I guess it depends on how bad the deficiency is. Maybe it's just like some regular supplementation with the mineral complex or some yellow dot could be the solution. But if it's like very severe, it means there's something, like you said, there's a root cause problem in the body that has to be corrected too, or first.
Right. So that 95 to 98% chance that the bone marrow is just not making enough red blood cells because it's damaged, or the person's just losing a lot of blood. If you have kidney issues, ladies who have heavy menstrual, those are someone losing blood through their colon or rectum. Those are some of the other causes. But as you're pointing out, if someone has low iron, that 5% remaining in their cell could be people who having iron absorption issues. You have infection, you have other chronic inflammation, you have damage or mutated genes or DNA. There's just a wide spectrum of other issues that you could have while your body is not properly absorbing and storing iron, and that's why the levels could be low.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Norrichman, you can always follow up with more details or information, or go ahead and call or email NuSpecies to get to have a more detailed conversation. And I will put this up for a minute so that you can get the information. All right, to Stephanie now. Stephanie says, my nephew is 2 years old and he only eats fruits, snacks, and drinks milk. Is this normal? If not, what do you recommend? So, Stephanie, I'm thinking there could be several things happening here. I don't know if you're saying that your sibling is trying to offer many other things to the 2-year-old and that is all that they will eat, or is that all they're being offered? One thing is true that I've learned from raising 3 children is that you can offer the same food over 30 times to a child before they actually like it or realize they like it. They're growing and developing, their taste buds are changing, their nutritional needs are changing. And so what's very important is to just keep offering a huge diversity of healthy foods until they take. There's like a bunch of healthy foods my daughter won't eat, but if you stick broccoli in front of her, I mean, she goes to town on it. So it's like you just take your wins where you can get them. Also, a growing child is their bodies are looking for the fastest source of fat and sugar for energy and brain development. And so, but the body doesn't know that it's living in a modern world where there are many very, very bad sources of fat and sugar. And so it's normal for a child to really crave these kinds of foods because it's the body craving sugar when it really needs that sugar from fruits, and it really needs that fat from avocados and nuts and seeds and proteins from whole grains. If those food sources aren't being offered, yes, it's normal for a child to then just crave the modern alternatives, which, as I can tell you're concerned, are actually not they don't provide a lot of health benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So the recommendation there would be to continue to offer your nephew as many healthy foods as possible in many different forms. And I promise you something will take, and that will just keep evolving and changing over time. You certainly don't want their taste buds to get too used to the highly processed flavors, because that becomes very addictive and it becomes harder to enjoy the natural versions of those flavors. So I would say fight the fight every day to get that under control, because 2 is pretty young to start to only want to desire those kinds of things.
Right. And also let us know if he has any diagnosis, any issues, and I'm assuming that he may be vaccinated. Did he start having issues after vaccination? Are there any behavioral issues? You can let us know, because that could play into the situation that you were describing. And beyond that, kids are, especially these kids of today, they're violently stubborn, and they will fight you, as my grandmother would say, to the nail to get what they want. So that could be part of it too.
Yeah, and also there could be sensory issues. I think what you're describing is quite normal for a modern child, but you don't want to overlook the fact that there could be sensory sensitivities. So maybe just certain textures don't feel comfortable in their mouth, certain smells or flavors, or even the sight of certain colors can turn off children who have sensory sensitivities. So I would say keep offering all kinds of things cooked in many different ways, whether it's steamed or baked or sautéed, to try to see what the winner is. And if
Hmm.
you think that there's more going on, you can definitely have a sensory profile done on the child to see if there's some other reasons why they're rejecting certain foods.
Right. So one last suggestion, Stephanie. I see that there's no diagnosis, which is great. So think of it this way: he's eating fruits and snacks and drinking milk. I don't think that's so bad for a 2-year-old. So try to make it organic fruits. Try to make it really, really healthy snacks. If there are, a wide variety of really good snacks that are out there that could have a lot of vitamins and minerals. And then, if it's milk, it could be nut milk. I'm not sure if he'll drink the nut milk. And if it's a nut milk, you could make homemade milk using using Brazilian nuts or cashews or any of those nuts that are out there, can make really healthy milk that would be very, very nourishing with vitamins and minerals. And if it's raw nuts, you may even get some enzymes into it as well. So
Mhm.
healthy fruits, actually, fruits have all the minerals that plants have. They just have a little more sugar in them. But if you get the foods that are organic, if you get the snacks that are more healthy, and I just mentioned nut milk, I think that's pretty good. That's really good.
Yeah. Another thing is smoothies, because you can hide some other things in the smoothies that they don't know they're eating. So, for example, my son likes a strawberry banana smoothie. He thinks he's only getting strawberries and bananas, but I am hiding some oats in there. I can get in some hemp seeds, a little flaxseed meal. Can't go too much because it'll start to alter the flavor. But the child is 2, so they don't need a whole lot. But you can sneak in other little nutrients in there, and they think,
Hmm.
and it's pink and it's bright, and they're going to be excited to drink it, and it tastes good. And you can sneak in some other nutrients in there.
And by the way,
As
this goes for all of you. This goes for all of us. We all should be eating healthy fruits and snacks and very
hmm
healthy.
And we sometimes as adults we have to sneak them in for ourselves because our taste buds have been so altered by highly processed food or ultra processed food that we're not ready yet to receive those flavors. Um, you know, when it comes to the health of your microbiome, so the healthy bacteria in your gut, you can start changing that over in 24 hours. But your taste buds tend to lag behind by months. So when you start eating some like new fruits or vegetables that you don't really crave that much, it'll take a couple of months of eating them before the taste buds catch up and actually start to crave them and enjoy them. So even for adults, we have to be persistent about that. Stephanie was asking about supplements that he can use. I mean, most supplement companies, if we follow what the FDA says, we're going to tell you that we can't recommend to you that a child under 6 take our products. But that doesn't mean that you can't make your own decision for what you want to give to your own child. And so, on that note, Stephanie, you could call us or send an email. We can talk in more detail. All right. Hide that current comment. And let's see who's next. All right. We've got Fitzgerald. No, no, June. June is next. All right. June says, I love June. Great question. This is going to happen a lot. Don't worry. So, could you explain when to use colloidal silver? I bought it to have on hand, but I forget what it's for.
All right. So the colloidal silver is one of the formulas, June, that we use to support the immune system. We actually mostly recommend it along with the God Formula 4. The gut formula 4 is our antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial formula. Also help with parasites, gut formula 4. So you take it along with the colloidal silver to support the immune system. Not to say everyone can take the colloidal silver by itself, but if you take it by itself, it can still support the immune system but at a very low level. So it's a good formula to have as a maintenance if you're not fighting any infection or chronic inflammation or virus, bacteria, or whatever. You can take the colloidal silver maybe once daily or maybe a couple times a week, a few times a week, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then you can even skip weeks. You don't have to stay in it all the time because you're not fighting an infection. But if you're actively fighting an infection, that's why we would recommend it with the God Formula 4, and you take it until the infection is gone. Once the infection is gone, then you don't have to continue taking it. Of course, the formulas we have, like the colloidal silver and the God Formula 4, Julian, you can have them in your pantry for up to 3 years, right? 3 years, I think we have on the label.
I think the expiration date is set for 3 years, but we've tested our products up to 4 years and they still don't go bad. So we don't actually know exactly when they go bad. So you've got up to 4 years. It's usually
Right.
like
Well,
a
you
whole
should.
year after the expiration date, you're still good.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that
All
helps,
right.
Joan.
Okay. Wait, I thought I had, okay, Fitzgerald's next. Okay. Fitzgerald, I think you have a little typo, and I understand because a lot of you are typing away on your phone. So I do often try to translate. Please tell me if I'm wrong. So Fitzgerald is saying he understands that there is a new uprising of the Ebola disease. And then he said something might not be readily available to us due to current politics. I'm thinking maybe you mean like a vaccine might not be readily available, or just clarify what you think is not going to be readily available. I think we could still answer your question. How can NuSpecies help us prepare our bodies if or when it reaches the US?
So that's a frightening question from the perspective that I try not to follow the news and listen to the news and believe in the news. You use the word politics there because sometimes I don't even know when people are saying things that are self-serving. But having said that, just as how we went through the COVID-19, pandemic, and we help a lot of people, I still have people who come to us now and they would say, you saved our lives, NuSpecies saved our lives, NuSpecies helped my family. We were able to stay in it and still work and do, whatever they had to do during the time, get exposed to the COVID virus. And a lot of people believe that NuSpecies helped them, especially doctors and other medical people who still had to go to work because they they fall into the category of essential services. So I don't think you will need to worry. Hopefully, there's no breakout. We all should pray that there's no breakout because we all remember the COVID-19 pandemic, the amount of people who died and the number of people who are now suffering. We know people who are suffering right now. We have a lot of clients who are
Long
suffering
term.
right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was devastating in so many ways. But having said that, the formulas that we have at NuSpecies, the God formulas, are the most potent, the most powerful to help to support the immune system. I mentioned in particular the God formula 4, which is the antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial, along with the colloidal silver. That's one of the big ones that you all could be taking, and maybe you all should have one at home. And now that you say that, Fitzgerald, maybe all of you should get a God Formula 4 with a colloidal silver and just have it at home in your pantry, just in case. Because sometimes we sell out of these things, these formulas, and we don't get them for weeks and even months, as you all know. And beside that, we have the new Genesis and the anti-inflammatory and the L-new. Those three together are also very, very powerful to support the body, to support the immune system, to fight any virus or any bacteria, or any infection or any inflammation. We have the basic anti-inflammatory, we have the upgraded one. So I think you NuSpecians, you're in good shape. And but we should still fear if something like this happened, because not all the human beings on the earth are NuSpecians. We would love them all to become NuSpecians, but not all humans are NuSpecians today. So if we have an outbreak again, we have family members and friends who will likely be affected, who are not taking NuSpecies, who probably don't even know about NuSpecies. So that's why the thought is frightening.
Right. Yeah, because we live in the household with other people who may or may not be protecting themselves, and so we went through all of that craziness and during COVID. But yeah, I have heard that these diseases are a plane ride away, and I guess since we're not, I don't know, they say that because we're not participating in the WHO, that we may not get the updates that we need, and we may not have the information we need. So um, I think none of us really know what's going on and what could or couldn't happen. So yes, continuing to protect yourself to the best of your ability is I think focusing on what you can control is maybe all we can do.
Right. I assume that everyone in this Q&A was alive during the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you were alive, one of the greatest lessons you've learned in your life is that you are on your own, as you were on we were all on our own in those few couple years of the pandemic. Everybody was on their own because there was nothing, no medicine that could help anyone in any substantial or universal way. And hopefully there it doesn't happen again, but if there's another outbreak, likely we're going to be again on our own to fight for ourselves and stay alive. That's the way it looks right now.
All right, Buttons, I apologize. I skipped over your question there. I have a tumor in my eye. Before trying LNU-25, I used to have eye pain. I keep a supply on hand because if I stop taking it, the pain returns. What's in the formula providing me with relief? And by the way, I'm in India. Hi from India. Very nice.
So hi Button, welcome. Hello to India. um, so the LNU-25, you're actually taking our most powerful rebuilding formula for the whole body. So the LNU-1 or the LNU-9 or the LNU-25, any one of those, they have all the vitamins and minerals. Well, I invented it, so I can speak, to all of you to say that it has what it needs to support the whole body. But if you want to know specifically what's supporting the eye, so it has the LNU-25 has rebuilding. It has anti-inflammatory components. It has rebuilding components. It supports the body to produce more enzymes or amino acids, which are protein to support the body in general. It's not an eye form of the LNU-25, but excuse me, if you want to get something to add to the LNU-25 that will help you to promote the blood circulation in your eye, to support your eye, we have an eye formula that is the circulation formula and the anti-inflammatory. Those two together we use to support eye issues in general, usually eye issues, whether it's glaucoma or cataract or astigmatism or any of those type of eye issues. Usually they come about because of poor blood circulation to the eye. So all those together will help to support not just blood circulation to the eye, but rebuilding the blood vessels that are compromised, and that's what leads to all the different eye issues that we get. So yes, those formulas are not for the eye; they actually support the whole body. But by rebuilding the body with those formulas, you're also supporting the eye. So the circulation formula and the anti-inflammatory, of course, we have a regular circulation formula, and we have an upgraded one, more potent, a lot more potent. Then we have a regular anti-inflammatory, and we have an upgraded anti-inflammatory. So depending on the degree of the eye issue you all have, you can start with the regular, and then you can go up to the upgraded. And yes, adding the LNU-25 is actually personally my favorite formula, along with New Genesis. It's a really powerful formula that we use to help a lot of people with different eye issues, especially autoimmune issues. So if you have any other
And this,
follow up on that,
yeah, and
let us
this
know.
Buttons has a tumor in her eye. So the tumor could be causing eye pain by what? Like creating pressure, maybe putting pressure on a nerve in the eye. And then if she
You,
was taking LNU-25, that pain is not there. So she's like wondering what could be the correlation between that tumor and the pain going away with LNU-25.
so all pain is nerve pain. Any pain we get is because the nerves are damaged and the nerves are exposed to oxygen. Like you cut your finger and you feel it sting, it's the oxygen hitting the nerve. So the nerve get exposed to oxygen. That's why we have nerve pain. So all pain is nerve pain. So the LNU 25 also helps to rebuild nerve. I said before, it supports the whole body. It helps to rebuild the whole body. It can support the genes, the DNA, hormones, nerves, enzymes, the amino acid, which are proteins, blood circulation. That's how I formulated the LNU-25 to be able to rebuild the body very quickly. But I'm suggesting that if you're able to add in those other formulas, the circulation formula with the anti-inflammatory, you'll be able to get even better support. So your eye will get hopefully heal more quickly. And the more blood circulation you have going to your eye, is the more quickly the body will burn the tumor away. Your body will burn the tumor away. Your body will use the enzymes that are being produced by the genes to destroy the tumor. And that's the way our bodies work. If our bodies get what it needs, our bodies can literally just burn the tumor and use the residue of the tumor to support other body function. Even if it's a cancer tumor, that's the way our bodies work. It disintegrates. It's called the catabolic process, where it disintegrates any inflammation, any cancer, any infection. It disintegrates it and use particles of it to support other body function. And then the excess, it passes out. That's actually sounds very violent, but that's the way our bodies work.
Yeah, it reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, I did
It's
translate.
our bodies are the ultimate laboratory. It's just the
Yeah,
ultimate.
yeah, it's amazing. I did translate wrong. Button's name is India. She said, I'm India, not I'm in India. See, I can translate incorrectly. So thank you, India, for that question. That's great. If you want to follow up with anything else about that, feel free to. All right. And let's see here. I want to just catch up and say good morning to June and Jay. Hi, Levon. Hi, Larna. And then we've got, I saw down here. Okay, great. And we have a question from Mitchum. We'll get right to you, Mitchum. I think I've got another one. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So then the next one is from Larna. Good morning. Can I take my NuGenesis with my other liquids? And June correctly told her that she does, but listen to Aston. So I believe the answer there is yes.
The answer is absolutely yes. You can take all new species formulas along with the NuGenesis. The NuGenesis primarily support the body in rebuilding the genes and DNA. And because of that, using the NuGenesis with other formulas, it will automatically makes all the other formulas more potent. And a lot of you are seeing that. That's why you're getting all that energy you're getting. A gentleman came into Bronxville a week ago, and he was giving me a testimonial, which I should have recorded, but I didn't, on the NuGenesis. And he was taking the LMU formula as well. And he said, Dr. Aston, have you ever watched the Transformer movies? I said, I think I've seen one or two. He said, that's how I feel. I feel like a transformer.
Oh,
I
you said
have
he works
so
on
much.
construction, right?
Right.
He works in
Yes.
construction. And I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So the NuGenesis does support the genes and DNA. And once you're rebuilding the genes and DNA from damage or mutations or any negatives that are affecting it, your body just automatically becomes stronger. The genes are going to produce more healthy amino acids or protein to support all the organs, and that is the wonderful thing about taking the New Genesis along with that with the other formulas. You're supporting your whole body in a powerful way.
Right. And taking the formulas, you could mean that question in multiple ways, Lorna. You could be saying, can I create a package with New Genesis and my other liquids? Or you might be asking literally, can you take it in the same cup or at the same time that you take your other liquids? So just to cover both, for me, depending on my doses, if I'm taking formulas that are only like a teaspoon or a tablespoon, I can often that measuring cup, I can just like fill my teaspoon to here, then my tablespoon to here, and then another teaspoon to here, and then maybe squirt in like the blood and lymph or bee pollen. And then I just drink it all at once because I'm a wimp when it comes to the taste. I believe me, I'm no exception. I love NuSpecies products and I take them every day, but I'm not enjoying the taste. So I try to mix them all together. I really admired my brother. He says that he believes that he needs to put each formula in his mouth separately and force it to like be on his tongue so that he believes that will help him get used to the flavor over time. And he does this when he takes our products. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to like skip all the taste buds and get it to the back of my throat as fast as possible. Okay, Lorna, thank you for that question. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, June was letting us know she has her God Formula 2 in the pantry and she's going to save up and get her God Formula 4. And we do currently have that 20% discount on the God Formula 2 ounces and the 26% discount on the God Formula 8 ounces, which means you're essentially getting a 2 ounce for free when you buy the 8 ounce bottle. So I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be able to keep up that discount. So yeah, now's as soon as possible is a good time to get it.
I want to go back to Fitzgerald Dillon's question,
Okay.
and your comment. Are we not participating in the WHO anymore?
Yes, the U.S. has withdrawn. Maybe we reverted that. Changes are happening very fast right now, but I'm pretty sure that is still sustained. I don't know, Mary, if you know, we still withdrawn from the WHO? Yeah, as far as she knows too, yeah, we're still withdrawn from the WHO.
So if that's the case, and I did hear it, but everything I hear I treat as a rumor until I see it 1,000 times in different places, and hopefully reputable places. But if that is the case, then I think all of you, including us, because we run the products too at home, I think all of you should probably have a God formula, any of the God formulas at home, and just keep it in your pantry for yourself and your family. Just keep it in there, and maybe you have the God formula along with the New Genesis and the Colloidal Silver. Just keep it in your pantry and just have it there. You don't have to take it for the next 6 months or a year or even 2 years, but just have it there just in case. That's the best that I can advise all of you. And then if you travel, like when I travel, I take my NuSpecies with me anywhere I go in the world, and I don't even put it in a suitcase. I have it in my carry-on because I don't want to lose it. I'd rather lose everything I have when I travel. I'd rather lose everything than my NuSpecies. So I'm saying to you that if what I just heard is true, you should all have a New Genesis and a God formula with the colloidal silver with you. And if you travel anywhere in the world, you should take it along with you. You don't have to take it just in case you get trapped, just in case you get sick and get into a hospital, and you just don't know what's going to happen. And I'm telling you this out of experience with our clients who tell us that they just went to the emergency room, forgot to take their NuSpecies along with them. They get admitted, and then they can't get their NuSpecies in the hospital. And some of those people end up dying. I am not saying that if they had NuSpecies, they would be alive, but there are family members who believe that if they had their NuSpecies, they would be alive. So just take it with you anywhere you go.
That's a good point. Aston's bag is very heavy because he has so many bottles in there.
I am a walk-in pharmacy, a walk-in NuSpecies pharmacy, and I am not ashamed of it.
Right. I know, no, it's amazing. It's amazing. Sometimes our son doesn't like it because all he has to do is like cough a little in the car, and Aston's like digging in his bag, like, take this. And he's like, no, Dad. Okay. Also, just to wrap this up, I mean, there's so many other things you can do to support your immune system that are harder lifestyle changes. And so, if we're predicting that potentially in a month or two there could be Ebola on our continent, then we would want to have already implemented a lot of changes. So, for example, getting enough sleep at night, drinking a lot of water, eating a lot of vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. It's really hard to change your diet. So you may want to start doing that now. So you've got at least 7 recipes that you love that you could eat every day. And then just batch make salads on a Sunday, and you have a salad for every day of the week. And then for breakfast, you could stick with like, oatmeal or an ancient grains porridge or a smoothie, so you can switch over your diet pretty quickly if you make consistent effort between now and, a couple of months. Exercising, start walking 10 minutes every single day. Build up your muscle mass, because muscle is incredibly important for your overall body functions. So these are changes you can make to support your immune system in a powerful way, along with NuSpecies formulas. But those NuSpecies you can do instantaneously, but all those changes can take time to build into your lifestyle. So if you are truly afraid that something like this could happen and you're not going to be able to protect or the government's not going to be able to protect us, you need to start making those changes now so that you're ready and your body is ready when
So,
and if it ever becomes exposed.
something like this can happen, and something like this will happen, whether it's Ebola or some other viruses. So there's
Mm-hmm.
scientific studies that are out there and scientific research. You all could probably just Google it right now if you want to, and you'll see that because of the glaciers that are melting in the northern hemisphere, the viruses and bacteria that were dormant below those glaciers are now released into the environment, and a lot of those viruses or bacteria are extremely destructive. So if you Google that, you'll see it very, very quickly. Just a lot of reports on it out there, but they're more scientific articles that you all should try to find. The more cogent ones, the reliable sources, and you should read those articles, because those viruses, they're going to travel across the entire planet. And as the planet warms, those viruses and bacteria, they become more powerful. And I some scientists are saying that it's part of the reason why there's now a massive increase in cancer across the whole world, across all racial groups. There's a massive increase in cancer, young people and older people alike. So it could be part of the reason. So we all have to be prepared for the worst. And as Julian says, it's just a plane right away, the viruses or bacteria to get here at home in the United States or wherever you are in the world, just a plane right away. So you all should be taking precautions to protect yourselves and to protect your families.
Okay. Yes, we have a couple of comments. So Darna, I did find your email. I've got it. Um, yes. So Verona says I take mine in small bottles when I travel. They must go with me. And if you're wondering about the small bottle thing, I think most health food stores have like a small selection of maybe 2-ounce bottles, and you can buy those. And then just if you have like a 16-ounce bottle with NuSpecies, you can pour it into the smaller 2-ounce bottles. Obviously, in our household, we use a lot of NuSpecies, so we have a lot of empty 2-ounce bottles from using up some other formulas. So Aston always saves them, sanitizes them, and uses them when he travels as well. Okay, I skipped over a question earlier. Margarita. Okay. Margarita says, my T3 is low. What do you recommend? And I'm assuming it says slow, but I think that's a typo. I think she meant low. But if I'm wrong,
Right.
correct.
So we have a thyroid formula, but I don't. Just as how I really ever recommend. I don't know that I've ever recommended the thyroid formula or the yellow doc, which is another formula that we use to support iron levels. So the best thing that you can do, if there's a serious issue or if there's an issue that's affecting your weight, your digestion, if you're feeling tired, slow, your focus is off. Those are some of the symptoms that can cause a result from hormonal imbalance. Whether it's the thyroid or the adrenal gland or other glands that produce certain types of hormones. You should be taking the NuGenesis along with the anti-inflammatory. So all health issues, folks, every health issue a human can get, it has inflammation as its foundation. Every health issue, once a gene mutates, the gene or the DNA start to generate a lot of inflammation. The inflammation is partly the abnormal protein being produced by the gene. The gene that is mutated is not going to produce the healthy proteins, the healthy amino acids. It won't, because the chemical structure of the gene or the DNA are in question, is compromised, and that's what the mutation is. It's the compromise chemical structure, organic chemical structure of the gene or the DNA. So anyone who has a health issue, it can be related back to genes, whether the doctors or scientists can find it. So you should be taking the NuGenesis along with the anti-inflammatory. And then if your vitamin D is low, you should add in the vitamin D, and you may need to add in the bee pollen. Now, when we make these recommendations, we recommend 3-4 formulas most times, sometimes even 5, because we're supporting different areas of the body. We don't have one formula that is a fix-all. If we have one, it would be the LNU25 that we just discussed. And even so, we still don't recommend it by itself. So what I just said, we're rebuilding the genes that are compromised using, so we're assisting the body to rebuild the genes using the NuGenesis. And then I mentioned the anti-inflammatory. So all the inflammation or the free radicals, that's another way to think of it, that are being produced from the mutation of the gene, has to be purged from the body, because that's what leads to other diseases. So you need the anti-inflammatory along with the NuGenesis, and then you have to rebuild. The rebuilding formulas we have to support the whole body, all the organs, all the glands, or the NU formulas. So it's the NU1 or the NU9 or the NU25. That's why we recommend these formulas in trees up to 5 and even more, is because of, if you want to support your body the right way, we know that we have proven it tens of thousands of times with our clients worldwide, tens of thousands of times. You have to rebuild the genes and DNA. You have to, support the inflammation, and you have to rebuild the immune system. And that's what the LNU will do. The LNU rebuilds the whole body, including all the body systems, including the immune system. So those 3 formulas at base, you would need to support certain organs, depending on what the issues are. And then you add in the vitamin D. The vitamin D is a vitamin, but it's not a vitamin, it's a hormone. And for a lot of people who have issues in their endocrine system, whether it's the thyroid or the breast glands or the prostate for men or other gland, the endocrine system, vitamin D deficiency is one of the major problems that affecting the endocrine system. The vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone, and it's probably the most important hormone in the human body, actually, vitamin D. It can make the whole body collapse if it's in a state of imbalance.
And just so the thyroid formula that we do have has Irish moss and kelp in it, which are natural plant-based sources of iodine. So sometimes if the thyroid isn't functioning really well, it could just be low iodine. But as you know, NuSpecies doesn't really like to treat symptoms or chase around symptoms, which is why Aston goes right to what the root causes could be and lists those products. The reason we still sell a thyroid support formula is because of 2 things. One, you can work on the root causes while still helping some of the symptoms. So you could add the thyroid support in if you think it's a low iodine thing and you're hoping that can help mitigate some of your suffering, while the other formulas support your body to fix the root cause of the issue. Or the formulas that are recommended are not in the budget yet. And as we always say, it's better to do something than nothing, because every day you do nothing, the situation is only getting worse. It's not going to magically get better. You could use the thyroid formula in the meantime. So those are some different perspectives on why do we sell that product if we don't recommend it. We just like to make sure we have lots of options. And everybody has different preferences. Not everyone listens to us. They just want to do what they want to do. And so why let them go off and buy something that may not help them if we can at least provide a raw, organic, liquid version of that product? They can buy it from us. So
Right.
that's why we have it there.
That's a really excellent point. You know, we have thousands of, many thousands of NuSpecians. And I can tell you, folks, a NuSpecian never walks in or never calls in and asks for a remedy. They don't want remedies. They want whatever issues they have, they want their bodies to fix it. So, and that's what the thyroid formula would be, or the yellow dock, or any of those individual plant herb formulas we have. They would be remedies, and we just don't do remedies. We don't believe it's right to lead people to do remedies, because if you're doing remedies, the condition you have will get worse over time. And it's kind of sort of what medication is. Medication is it's merciful. We're suffering. We want to take it to, to save our lives as quickly as possible. If you stay on the medication for too long, it's going to harm you as well, because it has side effects. So we just don't do remedies because it's not in anyone's best interest to do remedies.
Right. And also, there is no end in sight to the amount of remedies you already have access to from many other companies. And a lot of remedies you can just do at home. We feel like that's under control. You've got access to that if you want it. We're trying to provide something that speaks to our values and what we enjoy actually doing as a business. Yeah. All right, I'm getting backed up with questions here, so let's see what we can do. All right, buttons are India. You were saying what product is the God formula? It is the God formula. It is just not available on the website because it's proprietary. So we can't sell it on the front end of our website, but it is available in our stores. And if you call over the phone, it's available for us to place the order for you. Warning, it costs a lot. I mean, it's worth the money, but it's not for everyone. So when we say buy it and keep it, like you can keep it for years and just use it when you need it. Some people need it every day because they have very, very severe health issues. But I don't want to give you a sticker shock. We're not just casually recommending everyone can buy a God formula. We get it. But for people who really value their health and are truly scared of Ebola or something very serious like that, we are not going to be shy to say that we Aston designed products that are amazing and powerful, and we stand behind them.
And I'm going to say in a very upset tone, to all you NuSpecians, I want you all to have a God formula at home in your pantry, because you see the pain in my face when you come to see me and you're not feeling well. You see the pain that we feel for you. So you get your butts out and get a God formula and keep it in the pantry. Whether it's a 2-ounce bottle or the 8-ounce bottle, all you NuSpecians need to have one in your pantry as a safeguard. And not only because of what could happen if what I'm hearing is true, but you should just have it there. It's good. It's good to have it there to support your body and support your immune system and to support your family. And those of you, if you get sick and you're going to go to the hospital, you should take it with you. Take your formulas with you. Put them in the pocketbook or your pockets or your coat pockets or whatever. Don't leave them behind. And you can take all NuSpecies formulas while you're on medication. They will not conflict with any medication. That's why we design them the way we design them. We make them the way we make them. We've been doing this for 20 years or so, and we've never had conflicts. Yes, the doctors will say you can't take this, you can't take that, and that's fine. The doctors know that probably 90%, 5% of the vitamins you take and minerals you take in the market, they're made in labs. A lot of them are made by pharmaceutical companies that make drugs. They're chemicals, they're synthetic. Those will conflict with medication because the medications are chemical. Chemicals are going to conflict with chemicals and let you know what the biochemistry you're dealing with. NuSpecies formulas are 100% natural, people, 100% natural. And they have all the enzymes, all the amino acids, the phytonutrients. When we extract, and I know we're taking up time, we may have to get into next week, but you just need to know that when we extract a plant, we're getting out of that plant at least 97.8% of everything is in that plant. You're literally eating that plant raw when you take NuSpecies. So it's a holistic extraction we're doing with all the minerals and vitamins, all the organic chemicals, all the proteins, all the amino acids, nutrients, and that's part of the reason why it will not conflict with your medication. So if your medication conflicts with food, then you can't eat. There's nothing you can eat. You can't eat yam or potatoes. You won't be able to do that. So I hope you get the point.
All right. So we've got I'm going to do a little bit of triage here because we're right at the end and we've got some big questions. So we've got DJ Kizzle. I think you also submitted this on the app asking about reversing diabetes and dementia. Those are two really big topics. Let me just see if, Aston, if we could triage a little bit here. We've got that question. And then Darnett is like, did you see my email? Darnett is asking about, she's having back pain, foot is cramping. Okay, she's got some stuff going on. I'm going to send it, but can you tell me what this means, please? Okay, so we've got that question. Sorry, folks, I'm doing a little bit of summarizing here at the end. So I just want to be sure. So, and then we have, and then Errol, oh gosh, okay, guys, we're not going to be able to get to all of these, and I feel terrible. I don't like playing God. I don't want to be the one to say your question is going to get answered. I'm gonna, Darnett, don't kill me, but I know DJ Kizzle did get his question in on the app and now in the chat. So I'm just gonna quickly, we're gonna, Aston, I don't know if you want to do a quick thing about reversing diabetes and or dementia, or do we have to put that one off next week?
I think to give it the response that it deserves. I don't like sound bites, and
yeah,
I like to explain things so everyone knows why they should do what we ask them to do. So I think those big questions we should reserve. We're going to be here next week, and we're going to be here for the whole year this year. So what we can do is give these questions priority. You can just rejoin next Saturday at 10 a.m. And we can answer these questions for you. And if you want us to email you responses, we can also do that. But I'd rather you just join next Saturday, and because everything we do is for the education of our NuSpecian community, and so we would love to do it
right.
live next Saturday.
Darnett, Mary saying she can call you. We know who you are, so she can call you. DJ Kizzle, we don't know who you are, so we can't call you. But if you need that answer sooner than next Saturday, you'll have to give us a call. I'm just going to put up the banner again with our contact information so that you can call us or email us. We can set you up with an appointment or potentially get you started on an initial starter package. Those are two major situations that we'll have two different packages though. So I don't know if they're two different people, but we may have to prioritize. So we would probably have to talk to you anyway. Pansy, hi, Pansy. Pansy says hi. I'm glad you're here. And then, Errol, as we see your question, again, we can address this one next week. I'm just taking some screenshots as we go here. Or if you need the answer sooner, again, email and phone number there on the screen. I want to thank all of you so much for being here. This is so motivating for us and so inspiring for us. Hearing what's on your mind, what's scaring you, what's stressing you out, what you think we're doing that's working or not working. All of this stuff is what inspires us to keep doing what we do and keep serving you in a way that's relevant for your needs. And so thank you so much. If you can, please subscribe to our channel before you leave today. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, we're up to 1,115 subscribers, which I know sounds small in the world of all this crazy followers and social media stuff. But in our minds, that's 1,115 people that we are helping. And I don't know anyone else in my life who gets to help that many people. So we really appreciate every single one of you, and any additional likes that we can subscribes that we can get. We don't care about really likes, but follow, subscribers is helpful to our channel, to give it legitimacy and to help share the word with others. Also, if you want to know more day-to-day updates, like if the store closes or if we're having a discount, please go to the homepage of NuSpecies.com. A pop-up will come up and you could fill in your email and your phone number and your birthday if you want discounts on your birthday. And that'll join you on our text and email list so that you can get even more detailed information that we don't always have time to share here on the Q&A. Aston, any last words from you before we go?
Yes, as you all know, or most of you, I do a lot of the new species consultations, and it is probably 40-50% of all the people who are coming to me now have cancer. Young people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and older. And a lot of them who started chemo before they come to NuSpecies, the chemo is destroying their bone marrow and destroying their hearts. And you can take NuSpecies while you're doing these powerful treatments. You must take NuSpecies to support your bone marrow, your heart, your cardiovascular system while you're doing the treatments. And unfortunately, with all the projections I'm looking at, the rate of cancer will increase over the next 10 years in a massive way. So massive that probably a quarter of the population could get cancer by the time they turn 30, 40, 50. That's how bad it is. And you all should eat well, try to eat clean foods, try to buy organic foods if you can, drink water, exercise. If you're not taking NuSpecies, and if you're taking NuSpecies, you should do that. Clean water, exercise, go for walks, try to eat real foods, not foods in plastic bags and cans. We are not all about NuSpecies. We're all about all of you, trying to live as well as you can and for as long as you can without suffering. But be aware that cancer is on the rise. And some of the people who are getting cancer right now lost their labs were good, their CTs were good, their scans were good, their MRIs were good, their ultrasounds and sonograms were good. And 1 year later, they're doing physical, and some people are finding invasive cancer, stage 2 to stage 4, invasive after 1 year. That is unheard of in all of medical history. Usually it takes, many years for someone cancer to develop from a nodule or a cyst or a tumor to cancer. Now it's happening within months, within a year. And what that's telling you is that the body is breaking down very rapidly. The genes are breaking down very rapidly. The organ, cells, tissue breaking down very rapidly. And if you think you're an exception, no one is an exception. And especially if you have the predisposition in your family, where you have significant family members who have had cancer, you're even more likely to get the cancer. And a lot of the people who are coming to us, some of them have no cancer in their families. Their parents, grandparents, no cancer, and they're young and they're getting it. So it's environment, it's the food, it's the environment that we're breathing in, we're eating, and it's the food. That's part of the reason. So take care of yourselves.
Yeah, and I will say, and I brought this up in our email newsletter that went out today, which is about keeping diversity in mind, whether it's diversity of foods that you're eating, plant-based foods, whether it's diversity of actions you're taking overall to support your health. Please, social media is so frustrating because there are all kinds of advices and life hacks and remedies and focusing in on just like, if you do this one thing, take this one product, this one herb. There's no one thing, and we've been doing this for a long time. This is why we have formulations of many different herbs, is because there's no one thing that is going to be the solution for a health problem that is affecting multiple body systems. Okay, it's rare that you have one symptom and it's only because of one body system. There's usually a cascade of consequences throughout the body. So please, 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 if you find yourself on social or reading a blog or some kind of clickbait on YouTube or whatever, and you think you're like, oh, maybe this is the thing. No, catch yourself and say to yourself, am I eating a lot of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole grains every single day? Not the fantasy in your mind because you think about it so much you think you're doing it. No, no, no. Are you actually doing it? Are you exercising every single day, even if it's a 10-minute walk? Are you moving your body? Are you drinking enough water? Are you sleeping enough? Are you managing your stress? Are you cutting out unnecessary toxic exposure in your life, whether it's cleaning products or deodorant or perfume or furniture that you just bought? Or, are you filtering your air and your water? As soon as you find yourself ready to go down some kind of rabbit hole, just like sort of one product or one herb or one hack, catch yourself and say, wait a second, am I doing everything I can on a diverse scale to support my health? If you're doing everything you can, and I promise you 99% of people aren't, including us, going down a rabbit hole to find one little thing is not solving your problem. It's distracting you and it's wasting your time. And as Aston said, we don't have time because our modern lifestyles are killing us. Humans are developing disease in ways that would never happen before. And we don't have time to waste pursuing all these little life hacks and remedies and one herb or one product. You need to be doing a whole lot of things, which sounds harder, but isn't. It's actually a relief because the answer is simpler than you think. It's the stuff you already know. There's no secret being kept from you. Companies trying to sell you all these products and things are making you believe there's some kind of secret they have that you don't know. You already know, and you have the power already to take care of yourself and avoid these outcomes that Aston is talking about, okay? So stick with us, and anytime you find yourself going that way, please just come back and check in with us so we'll pull you back to sanity, okay? All right. We're going to end for today, but we're here every Saturday at 10 a.m. So please join us again next week. Those questions we didn't get to, I took some screenshots. I've got you. Please come back next Saturday. And if you need answers sooner, the phone number and email had been scrolling there for a while. Please, or just Google NuSpecies, and we'll get back to you before then. All right, everybody. Thank you so, so much. And we'll see you next week. Be safe with whatever snow happens this weekend. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.